President Obama meets with leaders from Mexico and Canada today. A main subject of today's summit at the White House, the Keystone Pipeline and the price of oil. Robert Bryce, author of Power Hungry, live with us now from Austin, Texas. Robert, are they happy, Mexico and Canada, are they happy with America because we are not exploiting our own resources, oil resources?
Well, clearly Canada is not happy right now with the United States, and particularly the Obama administration, because the Harper government has said clearly that they want the Keystone XL pipeline to move forward and right away. Obama has blocked it twice. To be clear, I think the U.S. is exploiting its oil resources. U.S. oil production is rising rapidly. I think the key thing that were I the president talking today with Canada and Mexico, I'd be worried about Mexico and Mexico's falling oil production. Stuart, their big field Cantarell has been declining very rapidly, and Mexico is in danger of, in fact, becoming a major oil importer. It's already importing natural gas from the United States. So Canada is exploiting and very rapidly its oil and gas. Mexico desperately needs to overhaul its oil and gas production laws so that they can exploit the resources they have.
Well, look, I take issue with you about, is America developing all of its resources, oil resources? Because
Sure.
we could do a lot more drilling in the Gulf, we could do offshore drilling, we could go to ANWR in Alaska, we could do all of that, and we're not doing it. But look, why is this summit being held? And what do you think the President and the leaders of Mexico and Canada are going to say when it's all over and they appear before the press? What are they going to say?
Well, they're going to say the obvious things, that these are the countries that are involved in NAFTA. We're strong trade partners, and they are. That's clearly going to be the case. But I think the Canadians are going to continue to press, whether they say it publicly or not, I don't know, but they're clearly going to continue to press for the pipeline. To me, just, jumping back to your point, I take your point, Stuart, about there's definitely more the U.S. could do in terms of oil exploration in the Gulf. I'm in favor of drilling in ANWR, have been for a long time. But despite, in fact, despite what the president is saying, oil production has risen during my term, the oil production in the U.S. is rising despite his policies, and that's because of what's happening with shale oil and shale gas. It's a remarkable turnaround.
I just want to ask you, you're an expert in this field. Would I be right in saying that if we had a gung-ho policy, let's go and get all the oil that we know we've got in the United States territory, we could be self-sufficient in oil in a decade. Is that accurate?
Well, I suppose it is probably true, Stuart, although I would argue that it's somewhat irrelevant. Whether we produce that oil here, it's going to be traded in the world market at world prices. But let me be clear, I'm for as much domestic production and exploration and production as we can get. So I'm for it. And the good news is that in spite of what the president has done, that domestic production is rising, and we will likely increase production domestically by 2 million barrels a day just in the next 3 or 4 years.
All right, Robert Bryce, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us again, Robert. We'll see you again soon.